I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
I didn't see that.
The Applejack one. Clack clack soup's on every pony.
Buy some apples. We're terrible.
You break it, you buy it.
This is not a request. We know where you live.
We take cash or credit.
We're joking about. The people who are walking in have no idea what we're talking about. TDR, can we show those pictures before we get started?
Oh yeah, go right ahead. I've actually got two. I've actually got two more. I'm gonna throw up here as well.
So,
oh boy.
TDR has been sharing with us these custom
I'm not
Nerf
asking you to
guns.
smile anymore.
Want to take a look at my party cannon?
Oh, it is a party cannon.
It's portable.
I'll splatter your brains in 10 seconds flat.
That's
It's
not
got
even.
20% more bullets.
Oh, I
I'll
would
make
wonder how that works if you spin the barrel. I would wonder how that would look. That'd be awesome.
Right?
If you win, your head gets 20% cooler.
Happy Pride Month, every pony.
Lol.
Oh man. Okay, let's jump into this. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the Barcast, where the bar gets lower every single week. Your bartenders for this evening are Flammin' Werper,
I'm no longer asking.
Milk, Ravage,
We take cash or credit.
and I am Flutterpriest, actually here for a change. This week, we have a very special guest, someone who I literally could not stop seeing them in the feature box. I have got to know, and there are at very least 6 different seasons of it. What happens when Twilight gets a puppy? We have TDR.
What's up?
For those who are tuning in for the very first time, hello and welcome. We are a community-oriented podcast where we politely invite on guests. You ask for specific people, we ask them on. You ask them terrible questions. We stream every week on Twitch.com, Twitch.tv. Twitch.com isn't the thing that'll give you viruses. And then repost it on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all the places that you can digest your podcast related material. I don't know, Milk is probably watching the chat. Milk, what do we not ask our guest? Politics. Yeah, it's true. And that's a threat. He's not asking.
Well,
But we are watching. I'm sorry. We are watching the lovely Twitch chat, and we have a drinking word today. If you ever hear the word puppy, please drink. We're already one drink behind. I've got some water. Hail hydrate. Let's jump into this. TDR, it's great to have you here. Let's introduce you for people who may not recognize your name at home. Who are you and what do you do in the fandom?
My name is TDR. I actually have been writing various fanfics pretty much since 2011. Started the major one I started with was Stories in Stone, and when I completed that one, I got the idea to write another one, and I wound up with Twilight Gets a Puppy.
Wow. So you literally just mentioned that you several types of fanfic. What other type of fanfic do you write other than MLP?
Okay. The only other one I'm writing currently, well, Stories in Stone is an MLP one, but the other one I'm writing right now is called Walk. I've got it currently on Space Battles. It's basically the Worm fic. If you've ever heard of Worm, it's like a superhero thing.
Mm-hmm.
crossed with Helsing Ultimate.
Ooh.
So Worm is best described as so grimdark it shits constipated Batman.
Ooh.
God damn.
That's very grimdark. And so when you post these other fanfics, where do you have these on AO3 or?
Uh, the only one I've got otherwise is Walk. It's on, like I said, it's on Space Battles,
Oh,
and
Space Battles is the site.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard of it before.
it's mostly a gaming site, but they got a pretty big fan fiction section with a lot of stuff in it. So I kind of liked how their layout went for switching between stuff over Archive and Velocity. So
Interesting. How do you feel it compares to, say, film fiction as far as like for people who are interested in branching out from MLP, which is happening more and more every day? What would be a draw for people to go right on Space Battles?
uh, how if I can speak here. Pretty much how things wind up being fairly easy. It's a forum setup instead of like a post setup like film fiction, but you can set aside like if you've got your main story, and then you can tab over from that, and then you can add a side story in the same thing that can be gone through a media hype, and all of it is just little tabs that can be selected to go to where you wanted to go. So
Very
there's a
cool.
little variety, but it's mostly a chat forum.
Hey,
The
I'm more
RP
than.
part is yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The RP part or the story part is just in its own little section. It's pretty big, but not the main focus.
No, that's fair. And I think it's really cool. I'm more than ready to go back to the mid 2000s and just cruise on a forum. Heck, that was a portion of the reason why I was excited to have a FimFic group for our little podcast. Anyway, back onto you a little bit. What got you into MLP?
Believe it or not, it was actually a fan made song.
Really? Which
Somebody
one?
did. I've never been able to find it again, but back then somebody did a sort of a dubstep remix to Winter Wrap Up, and I've been looking for it, but I've never found the exact beat or tone to it again. But I got into that, and then I started looking around at some of the other stuff, and I was messing with the fandom before I even saw the first episode. I think season one was almost over with by the time I actually started watching the episodes.
Wow. Well, then you've definitely been around for a good deal of it, and managed to persist through all the various shows, twists, and turns. What got you, you said you discovered the fandom first, so this is typically where we ask a question. It's like, what got you into the fandom, and you kind of hit that. So let me ask, what keeps you in the fandom?
Actually, what's really been keeping me in it is since I've started the story, I've got the insane drive that I have to finish it before I can move on to anywhere else.
Hmm.
And I was actually starting to lose interest about the time I finished up Stories in Stone, which was I think like season 7 or so, because I still haven't actually watched any episodes past where I'm at right now with the stories, because now I'm having to watch the episode, see what I'm going to include in the particular chapter, and I haven't seen anything past that. But before I started doing that, I'd only seen a couple episodes of 5, and 4 I was missing a few episodes. 3 was the last full season I watched.
Cool. No, that kind of sums it up well. And I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else I could even add to that. I don't think there is. So, with that in mind, our last question before we throw you to the dogs to the thread is, who is your favorite horse?
Canon or fandom?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, okay.
We're this is gonna this'll be some stuff. Go on.
Let's go both.
Both.
Yeah.
All right. Canon wise, it was a toss up between Luna, like everybody likes,
Oh,
and
Okay.
nice.
Zakora, actually.
Ah. Okay.
Oh,
All
Because
right.
for a lot of times in the stories, I had a lot of fun writing her rhyming.
Hmm.
So, fandom wise, it depends on what I'm reading at the because, as I've said in some of the stories, I'm like, I most of the main six I never really liked. Like, I was
Hmm.
never a fan of Rarity or Rainbow Dash, but depending on what story they're in, I mean, I can like that version of it. Like, I like what I've done with it, what other people have done with it. But fandom wise, it always depends on the story because Trixie, Octavia, Lyra, they've all wound up being having some really good aspects and stories. And in one of the books of Stories in Stone, I actually took some of my five favorites and just tossed them into had them being the main characters for the story. It's how we wound up with a Twilight, Luna, Lyra, Trixie, and Octavia adventure.
Well, that's fun. Just being able to smash all those particular characters together.
Mm.
And I actually made it fit.
Yeah, right. It's so easy to just go in the lol so random way, but it takes a lot of work to actually make it work and make sense. All right, out in the thread, we've got a whole bunch of questions out here for you. We're going to start with the Glim Master, who asks number one, what does TDR mean?
Originally, it started out as the Dark Rabbit because I was
The oh,
yeah,
sorry.
the Dark Rabbit. I was a big fan of Watership Down, but somebody else already took the Black Rabbit, and I don't draw anthropomorphic skunks. But it's been used as that damn rabbit, that darn rabbit. Several things I can't say on national TV here.
But no, it's actually cool that it comes back to Watership Down. It's great. Watership Down is such an underappreciated, like, I shudder to say children's animated film, but it was for kids, you know,
Psychic rabbits ripping each other apart for the children.
for
Psychic or
children.
psychotic?
Both.
You're not wrong. How do you? The next question, number two, is as a writer, how do you make the worst pony become the best pony?
They're probably talking about Blue Blood. Uh,
You know, it changes from episode to episode who we're talking
yeah,
about.
I can see that. I've seen enough people going off on Starlight too. But it just depends on finding a role to fit them in. Because taking Blue Blood as an example, in Stories in Stone, I kept him the same asshole everybody perceived him to be in the show, and then for Puppy, I decided to flip that around and actually have him be a decent character. I just gave him a reason why he acts like he did in the canon stuff, and there we go.
There you go. The next question is, what is the craziest lore that you've seen in a piece of fiction?
Craziest lore?
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, that's gonna take a bit because I read a lot of stuff. Uh,
Do you have any particular authors that you gravitate to as like your favorite?
I actually like Dogger's stuff as well as Tatsuro's. Tatsuro basically takes a whole bunch of random shows and cartoons and so forth and throws ponies in it. And Dogger has done the Harry Potter crossed with the Crusaders. It's gotten really complex to the point you probably need spreadsheets to finish Magic School Days, but it's still pretty good. Uh, but that plot isn't exactly weird, I suppose. What was the name? There was one fic called I want to say it was Mare in the Moon, and
Yes.
it was this.
Was that Zamariak? Who was
I
that?
think so. It was basically a steampunk setup with it, and Twilight was sort of the jester to Celestia's court, and
Mhm.
Celestia was like some psychotic barely functioning ruler, and Luna was stuck on the moon, and Twilight spent most of the thing trying to rescue her and avoid Celestia by recruiting everyone else. That one was probably a pretty weird plot setup. At least it's the only one that comes to mind at the moment for weird plot setups.
No, that's totally fair. I did a fanfic search quickly for Mare of the Moon to try and give adequate credit. Turns out Mare of the Moon is a very popular fic name.
Well, actually, I can probably pull it up. I think I've got it saved in my thing here as well. Actually, looking through this, might be able to find some other weird stuff here.
Clack, 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 clack. I see one by Flash Gen that's pretty popular.
Oh, here it is. The Mayor Who Once Lived in the Moon by Mr. Numbers.
Ah, Mr. Numbers.
Oh,
All right.
that one, yeah.
A classic.
Yep.
Classic. Okay. Then let me pull back up the questions here. The next question that we have is, what superpower would you like to have?
Does reality manipulation count as a superpower?
Oh, of
Or is
course it is. But I mean, what would you specifically do to manipulate reality? Because that's so nebulous.
Ah, to start with, I'd be getting a lot more time so I could get some more of this these chapters done. I've got too many of the damn things.
That's fair.
Like, oh, I have to go to work. Yeah, okay. Half of me will go to work. The other half will sit here and get paid for doing nothing and finish all this other stuff.
So that actually promotes some interesting questions about your writing process. So a lot of people they put together when they see like they write a chapter or something like that. They have sometimes a gut feeling on when they feel a chapter is done. How do you put together a chapter?
Uh, I think I actually want to say KCat, who wrote the Fallout Equestria, mentioned this, and I realized that I was doing the same thing when they did an interview. Pretty much, I have a whole bunch of little ideas for like, okay, here's something that could happen, and now I just have to find out what part of this chapter or what part of that chapter to slot it into. And then if I get like two or three things in a chapter that are like, here's a big point, here's a big point, here's a big point, then I just have to connect the dots going down it. And usually to get the endings I'm after, I try to either end on a note that's kind of like one of the classic how the old sitcoms always usually ended on some kind of zinger or something like that. I try to aim for something like that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or if I'm feeling really like an asshole, I end on a cliffhanger and then don't post anything for a couple months.
I'm feeling really called out right now. That's not fair. But fair
Well,
enough. Fair.
I did the same thing in Stories in Stone, basically going from I got all the way to the end, and the main problem that was resolved, I didn't resolve, and then I threw more problems in, and then at the very bottom, I announced to be continued in book 2. So I got yelled at a lot for
That's
that one.
that's terrible. But hey, everyone's got their own process, and lo and behold, that's how you suck in a reader. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Next question. During your life, have you had the moment where you sat down and just asked yourself, why do I like these colorful ponies?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever gone along those lines because
Hmm.
I've been around for a while and I've liked all sorts of weird shit. So I mean, I'm kid of the '80s, so we had mutant turtles that were running around trying to be ninjas that were really popular. Ponies are not really a step in any direction other than that.
Not even a little bit. And I mean, that's why if you like just pulling an example like from Stranger Things, which is the it takes place mostly in the 80s. I had to laugh as I was watching the new season. This isn't a big spoiler, but like they had in season 3 more than a few My Little Pony jokes because they introduced a new younger girl character, and a couple
Hmm.
of the other guys liked it. And they're continuing it in season 4 while a D&D player is named Applejack. I'm like, wow, okay. So nice little tip of the hat there. That or one of you fandom people are on the Stranger Things writing cast, and you need to get in touch with me because I gotta ask you questions.
Yeah, I don't watch Stranger Things. I didn't hear too many good things
What?
about.
It's pretty
I've
good.
heard some good things. It's just not my. It's just not my thing. I've tried it.
No, not about this whole. No, not the whole thing. That I'm hearing that they sort of Game of Thrones the last season.
I
That's what
haven't
I'm hearing, at least.
I haven't seen the new one, so I will
Okay.
tell you when I have completed it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I didn't mean the whole thing was fucked. I just hearing it wasn't the expected ending. That
No,
yeah.
that's one of the perils of transferring stuff from written media to visual media.
Mm, absolutely. Although Game of Thrones had no excuse.
Yeah, they did. They were trying to go to Disney.
Ah, shit, you're right. You forget I said anything.
They're like, fuck this shit. We're done. We're going to Disney.
I think
But
I.
then Disney saw how bad they messed up. It's like, no, we aren't gonna let you touch our Star Wars. Get out of here.
And then they did. And then they promptly made Star Wars worse. Don't
Yeah.
at. Don't at me.
Oh.
Anyway, number 6, final one from Glimmaster. A blue person looks at you in a camera. He appears to be sad, but you quickly realize that is not the case. With sarcasm, he asks you if you do not have something very vulgar. What vulgar thing you don't have?
Proper grammar.
That is not something that Glim has a lot of. I've been trying to like sit here and correct like some of the grammar errors that have been going along, but
I'm
it's been bad. It isn't.
oh,
I know.
okay. I'll need help translating that. Because the only thing that's coming to mind is, oh, there's a blue person. Baba dee bada die. Baba dee baba die.
For fuck's sake. I
So
love
I
that.
actually know the answer this week. I don't know if it was my time off or something like. Does anyone know what this references to? Because I do now.
I don't.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. He waits until someone gets it every week. So what Glenn Master does is he posts some very vague reference to a meme, hoping that someone will eventually get it. Like he's done Loss. He's done all kinds of stuff. I don't remember this one that he got. Anyway, this is the Mega Mind No Bitches meme. I've realized. So good on you, Glim. You were very patient for us trying to figure it out, but we did it. Okay. Now then, RK Striker JK5 is up next. Flam, would you like to ask the questions? That's a yes.
Hmm.
Yes, I would. Now, let me just do the appropriate thing and pull the stream up. Not the stream. Here it is. Glimmaster. No, RK Striker. I'm dumb. Sorry, I'm so groggy. So, let's see. Let me refresh just to be sure. Cool. So, we're moving on to RK Striker and the JK5, who asks, I'm not sure if we cover this partially, but what is your favorite non-MLP franchise?
I don't think we actually did cover that one. Although that's again, I got to go with a cartoon, movie, TV series.
Hmm. Is there
They're all kind of different women. Because I said I was big in the still kind of big in the anime and so forth. And I was with Ranma One Half for like the longest time when it was becoming the first major fandom on the internet. But I liked stuff like Ushio and Tora and Bubblegum Crisis back then. And then if we go over to the live action, 60s Batman,
ooh,
all the way
interesting.
on that one.
All right. Let's see. Yeah, that's good show fandom, I should say. You never got? Did you ever get into like Star Trek or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I like classic Star Trek too. The old
Classic Star Trek is good. Yeah.
classic Star Trek. I watched Next Gen for a good long time too, but I've always been a TOS fan more than anything else with that one. Which is weird because both those series were before my time, but I grew up on the reruns, so
Hmm. Definitely. All right then. Let's see. Number two, well, building up off of that. Have you ever done anything for a non MLP franchise? We did cover the fan fiction for some other stuff, but
yeah,
anything?
that does go off into the space battles thing. I actually started a another story there based with '60s Batman, the Bat of the Bay, but that's not really gone anywhere, and I haven't messed with it in a while. And then everything thrown in for the MLP, I've been dumping a lot of stuff from other things.
Hmm.
But the main one I started with, fan fiction wise, is the first thing I wrote was my group had a D&D game, and I was pretty much doing a setup with that I was calling Ross's Journal, and it was on the Pathfinder forums. And then the DM had a conniption fit and shut down the game, and it never got completed. So
Jesus.
I don't know why he had issues every so often. So, and unfortunately, he ended a really good game really quickly just by dumping everything and saying, "All right, we're done now."
Christ. Some people shouldn't head that stuff.
Unfortunately, it was fun otherwise. But
Yeah.
as I said, first thing I did was a Pathfinder thing on their phone. So different Ross though.
Gotcha. Then I guess we move on to more state secrets. What are you hiding with those initials?
A full name,
Ah, that is a state secret. We
and
probably
I think there's also somebody else on here named Dark Rabbit, so I couldn't take that, and I didn't want to put a number after.
Thank you. A lot of people that bothers me whenever I try to get a name somewhere else, whether it's online or it was like Xbox Live or whatever the hell it was at the time. People are like, "Oh, if they don't have the name, just put a number on it." No, it's a cop out. Don't ever suggest numbers after my name.
Yeah,
It implies lesser. No, I will fight people on this. So I agree with you.
I did luck out and get my that is actually my gamer tag. So
Nice. No,
I don't do
no,
anything with it, but
yeah, no capital X lowercase x underscore sniper legend underscore x
no,
capital X.
there
Okay,
is no better.
good. And that's the end of Striker's questions, it looks like. So let's see. I guess we're moving on. Back to you for regularly scheduled programming, Priest.
Why, thank you, Flam. That was greatly helpful. Alex, Alex underscore is up next. We're not a nude. Well, we might be a nude podcast. You can't see us, but Alex underscore is up next. Milk, if you would so please. If you are not drinking, good. Alex underscore. Is no one else listening to this interview?
Oh, we are.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. We are very writing heavy this week, and I'm loving it.
Uh I don't think I haven't actually seen one, but I've seen stuff that could either be the house settling or just a whole bunch of stuff falling over. So
That's always people are like, yeah, it's just the house settling, and I'm like, Well, what matter is the house settling.
It's
That's
okay.
concerning.
It's okay. It wasn't my house. Oh, what was the line? There's more things in heaven and earth that humanity doesn't understand than what we do know. So maybe. There's been a few places. I mean, back when I was really into anime, Japan was the obvious answer for that. But now I'm thinking something along the lines of maybe Ireland. Just well, Ireland or Iceland, just pretty much the scenery and so forth. I mean, you got volcanoes, geysers. Actually, it is more Iceland than Ireland. Ireland's kind of a family thing. Iceland just sounds neat with some of the stuff they got there. Yes, I actually rather like the Maine Coon style cats. I mean, they get pretty big and they're fluffy, and the coloration on them is nice. Yep. And then if an opportunity ever came, I wouldn't mind getting serval as well. Those are the really big ones. Yeah, but you gotta. I think you have an license to get a hold of one of those. So yeah, the whole do I want to pay this much money for a cat or do I just want to get a big regular? Something that big and fluffy should not be that dangerous. I've dealt with raccoons a lot, and they're like little bears and they're little buggers too. Yeah, I grew up in a
Crawl up your
house
ass.
that did a lot of wildlife rehabilitation. We had a lot of raccoons and stuff until they maul you. I am not aware of what that is. Yes.
There we go.
Oh no.
Come on, you stupid bot. Yeah,
Like,
it's supposed to be a fucking command just
You
no,
have to
you're
have the.
not. There was supposed to be a reaction image that every time you just said thing pone, it did that.
Because
Who
people
got
were just
rid of it?
talking about thing pone in conversation, and it would post the picture every single time. It was a mess.
I need a flamethrower.
But she's so
Aw, you don't want
happy
to
to
give her
see you.
snuggles.
Cuddles with a nice hot toastiness. Whoosh. I haven't actually seen any of it yet. I've made a couple jokes about it that came out when it first showed up. What I have seen, the movie animation I kind of liked, but the god awful Cal Arts thing they're doing with some of the little shorts, I can't
Yeah.
stand that.
I,
I
that's
can't
fair.
stand the art. I can't stand that art style at all.
Very fair. Very fair.
Aren't they like complete? And if I remember correctly, they're like, and I don't know if this is also the same for Make Your Mark that just came out too, but they're completely different voice actors, right? From the main movie.
Yes, they're doing well. Yeah, it's different voice actors because they had like A-listers.
Yeah, I
And
don't think they can pay. I don't think they want to pay for like Ken Jeong and everything for like 5 minute shorts, right?
yeah, so it's a lot of imitators and close enoughs.
That's fair.
So
Gotcha.
anyway,
Okay.
It's a little too reminiscent of what they did to Teen Titans.
it's 100% reminiscent of what they did to Teen Titans, and I still don't forgive people for that. I'm actually angry right now.
So are they just is that all Hub or Hasbro's gonna run now then? Like Teen Titans Go? Are they just gonna run fucking MLP Gen 5 chibi shorts for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Can we not?
Bad design.
Well, the whole reason anybody's even using Cal Arts is because of how the design is. You can take the head of that character and put any other character in it with just small details. So it's cheaper to do
Yep.
the animation. And that's why
wasn't
everybody's switching to that.
wasn't Proto CalArts like whatever Family Guy used? Or is that
Um,
like
I
because
think
that
the Steven Universe was the proto Cal Arts.
I thought Steven Universe was like the first like proper CalArts in its own thing because I was just trying to think of like other kind of rubber stamped animation styles. Whatever. But yeah,
There's
Steven
some
Universe was definitely the first, I think, mainstream example of that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
because I know they did Steven Universe, they did Star versus Evil, the hideous, god awful Thundercats Roar. Uh, I can't believe they did that one. They canceled the 2012 one that was awesome for that. Anyhow, moving on.
Yes, moving on. Bendy is up next. Bendy has a signature question he comes by with, which is which pony has the best butt?
Hmm. Again, that goes with fandom and art.
That is absolutely fair. The artist renders the booty, and that is an opinion rather than a fact.
Yeah, it should. The question might be better off which artist draws best pony butt, but
That is very accurate.
and
I
if
You
don't
that
know
know.
was
what? That now that's the right. That detective is the right question.
in that particular one, I'd probably have to say the NC Brony guy because I really like his art or her art or whoever's art.
Their art, yeah,
Their
that's
art.
that's a great that's a great point. That and a wonderful artist.
They do tend to like the stockings as well. So
Stockings are good. I do like the socks. Speaking of socks, Rav kept
I
him
ain't
away
wearing
long
any.
enough. It's up to you. Rav, your questions now. Oh nope, I can delay even longer. Muggany has a question for the chat. If you had
Oh,
oh god
finally.
oh do I have to ask this? Okay. If you had to have sex with one of the chibi ponies, which one would it be?
Oh
Ask Muggany.
God.
with one of the chibi ponies, what
Yes,
chibi ponies?
that's the correct answer. That is objectively the correct answer. I'm
Yes.
okay.
There are
That
chibi ponies. What? Where?
He's
the
talking about the
the
CalArt shit that you said you
Oh
pony.
hate from
God.
the G5.
There's pony.
Or
Well,
unless you want to go Ponies Go, you could do that too.
yeah. So no, there's Pony's Life. Pony Life
Ponies go.
has all the four. Ponies go. That's funny. It's also terrible and accurate. But Pony Life has all the main six in chibi form, and I don't even think those are Tara Strong and Andrea Lemon and all them. I think it was other people, right? Now I need to
Whoever
check
was
that.
cheapest and in the studio at the time.
Yeah.
And Frank the
Yep.
janitor, come over here and do this voice.
It Flutter guy back.
No, it was all the original cast.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. Anyway, Rav, please, your questions.
Oh, do we have to? All right.
Yes.
What's a question you wish people would ask you?
Hmm. What the hell is wrong with you? Because then I can just look at them,
Oh.
smile, tilt my head slightly, and go, "What?"
I like it. Alright, if you were the protag of Displaced Fic, what would it be about and who would you be unlucky enough to be?
This one I have an answer for because I did this. I generally
Oh?
don't do the displaced fix or anything along those lines, but I did once. I've got a little set of stories that I've. It's called Rabbit's Cornucopia. That's on FemFic as well, and any little tangents or whatever I get, I throw out there. And I had one that was that was pretty much a self insert uh, displaced fic where I wound up being a griffin, and then I was immediately killed, so I could end
Hmm.
the story.
Good.
Taking the Martin approach, huh?
Yeah, I also did one in Ponies Ruin Everything, which what did I call it? I had a. It was just a short story that the whole description of it was somebody sitting at a table or typing on a computer, and they dumped over their drink, and that was pretty much a self-insert there too. And then occasionally, my rabbit avatar will show up.
Oh, you just gave me an amazing idea for a story, but I do not have the skill to write it.
Oh.
We need to send this to Pencil. Wha- Imagine a fic where it's nothing but displaced characters being in Equestria, but the ponies are aware that they're displaced and they hate them. Not only do they hate them, but they go on all out just extermination sprees for the displaced characters.
Huh. I could see it.
Going with a slaughter fic.
it's,
Okay.
it's horrible, but I'm just thinking, God, it falls in line with something that Pencil would write. So, I mean, I'm sorry, stupid tangent. I will move on.
That's
If
fine.
your S if your SO could be any size at all, such as a Lady Demi Dami Mommy or a Renamana-esque kaiju, what would your dynamic look like?
Wow. Okay. Uh,
I'm basically asking if you have a size fetish.
oh no. I mean, I like girls shorter than me, but not like the
Hmm.
tiny short or the friggin' huge.
You don't want to fuck a Gundam.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty good. Although Tallgeese does have nice plating. Anyway,
I will not argue with that. All right. All right. Speaking of fetishes, have you ever released a foot fetish or porn video, and where can your fans find it?
foot fetish, but rabbits have paws. Where would I
They're
get a
still
foot?
they're still considered feet, so I mean we can kind of let that slide.
Eh,
Wow.
nah. That's a weird question that I don't have an answer to because I don't think one exists. And if it does, the FBI is getting a little weird.
No
I think
beans for your OnlyFans.
my FBI agent has given up
Only
on me
beans.
at this point.
All right. Do you read or write snuffles, i.e., gore clop for cute ponies?
I don't write any, and I've read quite a few. I do also like the cupcakes videos. What was not it's not the Get Ready to Die one. The Smile DK, I think it was called. That was I rather enjoyed that. The fix themselves, I don't really
Okay,
pay
I'm
attention to.
having to I'm gonna have to ask here because I basically just asked if you get off to gore, and you're practically saying yes.
Wait,
Please,
what?
no.
Do you
Rav, you're
write read
being
snuffles? Okay,
Yes,
where did that come
snuffles,
from?
i.e.,
no.
gore clop, snuff, like a snuff film.
Right.
Yeah, but that's write read, not get off to. Where did
Right,
the get off
yeah.
to come from?
Right.
That was too far, Rev.
No, I'm just like, what? Was there another question I missed? No,
No.
I liked the Smile DK video for the violence and so forth, but the rest,
Mm,
nah. I did write
okay.
one, but it was stupid and no one liked it.
It happens.
It's hard to make gore stories work. Like, I mean, to comment like it's a really narrow thing from like a shock thing to a fetish thing. Like it's really hard to
Right.
find that in between.
Yeah, it's what are you even going for when you do that? Like cupcakes, for example. Was it what was the actual intent of that? Was it just the shock value that Pinkie
Yeah.
Pie
Yeah.
would do this,
Yeah, that's all
or
it
was
was.
it just for the meme? Probably that too. Or are you actually intending to create a compelling pseudo horror that's just actually really gore? So I mean,
Sometimes
for,
shocking people is the meme.
yeah. So
Or
I
the
Pretty
guess
fetish.
much.
so. Are most like overtly gore fics just for the meme then?
I don't
Do you
know if
think?
I don't know if Cupcakes was, because that's pretty old. That might have been before the meme thing even really was about.
Was that the first
Yeah,
real
it
gore fic, or was
was.
that Rainbow
It
Factory?
was. It
It was
was.
it was the first.
Cupcakes was before Rainbow Factory. Rainbow Factory was inspired by a song.
Oh,
Yeah, I think Cupcakes, well, if not the first, was at least the first that anybody paid attention to. Because there was
It.
that one. There was oh, what was the Applejack one?
Um.
Because it was something Apple family, I think.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I think.
Because I think all they gave one with the entire main six at some point. Because and they all spawned out of the because I remember somebody made that their own little universe where everybody was fucked up and it was a gore-fic universe back when people were still drawing comic books for ponies.
Are we talking about? No, we're not talking about fluffy ponies, are we?
No, it was
Okay.
the what was it?
Was it
The
the
only
Big Mac
one.
fic?
Oh, Grimdark Big Mac was just hilarious. But that wasn't a fic. That was a blog post thing. They did one where Rarity got scratched by Opal and then turned
Oh,
Opal
that
into
one.
a
Yeah.
suit, and then that kind of was its whole little universe that was pretty much all based off of the cupcakes. So
Okay.
there was Sweet Apple Massacre, I think, right?
that may
Yeah.
have been it.
Yeah, Sweet Apple Massacre is the one where there actually was like a fetish aspect to it.
Yeah, and I think any of the spin-offs that came out of cupcakes wound up being more fetishes too.
Well, and I think it's that sign of like back in the day, you wanted to be shocking, you wanted to be gross. Everyone was trying to like outgross the other person. And so like the way that people could do that with relatively little effort and not necessarily worrying about taste was to take it in a sexual direction.
Yeah. Back in a sec.
Yes, by all means. So,
Oh, all right. Do we want to move on?
yeah, let's
All
move on
right.
and then while we wait
So
for
We'll go on to a much. Speaking of fetishes, but on a much lighter topic, who's your favorite MILF?
TDR stepped away.
Hmm? Oh shit. Okay, I didn't hear.
So let's just very quickly while they stepped away. Um, we have
Is it
a oh, all right,
is it ad time?
it's ad time. Yes. So welcome. I'm completely spaced on how to do ads. It's been too long, guys. But I think TDR is back. So
Yeah, I had to run out. We're starting to get some rain here, so I had to close the doors.
oh, no problem. Go ahead, Ref. Take it back.
All right. So to move on to a lighter subject, but still staying on fetishes, who's your favorite MILF?
You didn't actually get any too many in canon. Hmm.
We actually have like 6.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
you've
They
got
did. I haven't seen those episodes yet though, because
oh
they're in
okay.
later seasons.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah yeah yeah. Well,
Uh,
not necessarily. We have Twilight Velvet. She appeared in the first season. We have Mrs. Cake. We
oh yeah, there's
have
cake.
She got
um
cake too.
There's Luna and Celestia, depending on how far you want to take that. Um, oh God, I'm drawing a blank for one of the other more popular ones. If you want to go
Twilight Velvet.
OGs, I already said that.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got Cream Heart if you want to go into the fandom side of it.
Oh, Buttons
Um,
Mom. That was actually her name.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They finally came up with a decent name for her that wasn't Milano. So yeah,
Christ's sake.
I kid you not. Her name for the longest time, according to fans, was Milano, like the cookie.
I mean, it's not the worst name, but it doesn't really hold a candle to Cream Heart, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it
Cream
And
Heart
really
at
is.
least sounds puppy or more ponyish. So
yeah,
Mm,
agreed.
I know, I know, I know.
It's like, uh, it's like, who? What's the correct name? Colgate or Minuet?
hmm, I think
Minuet,
Colgate
isn't
was
it?
the fandom.
Yeah,
Right.
Colgate was the fandom. Minuet, I thought, got canonized.
Did the name Minuet actually get canonized? I just saw it mentioned twice. Though
I
I just
think
saw it mentioned
It's,
in stories, so maybe it
I
did. I
think
don't
it's
know.
actually in the game. I think it's actually in the Game Loft game.
I don't know about the Game Loft game. I know it is with the card game. Um,
It's interesting because you're completely right. In the Game Loft game, it is Minuet. They've weirdly gone like back and forth on the name between the show and the games and the cards. Like it's inconsistent.
Kind of like what
it
Yeah,
they did
really
with
is.
Bon Bon, Sweetie
Derpy
Drop,
and
and all
Ditzy.
that. Yep.
So
Yeah. Oh no, no, no. It's Derpy, Ditzy, and Muffins now.
Who the fuck be calling my Derpy slash Ditzy muffins?
No
They named her
muffins.
Muffins as they gave her the name Muffins in the later seasons.
It was in the later seasons, and it started from the I think it was either Target or Hot Topic exclusive vinyl figurine.
No wonder I blocked out the later seasons. It was that reason.
I'll
There are
eventually
no
get to
there
that.
there were no seasons past 6.
Alright, well, moving on. We already know your favorite princess is Luna, so
Mhm.
yes, we will do favorite object pony, i.e., soda pony, pizza pony, snake pony, thing pony, or so on. If you've seen any of the other ones.
There are quite a lot of those.
Mm.
Hmm. The Snake Pony setup was kind of interesting, but then they had what was it? I remember one I thought was kind of interesting a while back, but I can't
Was,
remember what it was.
was it the
Uh,
kaiju? She like with the glowing eyes and
yeah, the kaiju one was neat. The whole Godzilla spinoff with that. There's been so many,
mm,
it's hard to actually think through all of them. Because I mean,
right.
2011, it's been 10 years plus for all this stuff to come out. So I'm amazed I remember my own what I wrote, let alone everything else.
I feel you there. Um,
I do like the kaiju pony setup, and they
clones.
had when they did the whole Sphinx pony thing.
The
Oh
kaiju's.
yeah.
Oh no, it was actually
No.
the Sphinx they had. They made her kind of into a
Oh
pony for a little while,
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
and that was cute because I remember she was like poking into somebody's house, going, "Oh, you've got hands! Quick, help me put on this headdress."
Oh God, that's adorable. All right, so Sphinx pony it is. Got it. Well, on to another type of pony. Since bats are the superior pony, how many anons must we suck dry?
Depends on how many of them have mango scented uh, cologne.
Hmm. I mean, I'm sure there's a market for it.
Probably
Next up, why is Spike the worst in everyone that likes him wrong?
because no one can write him correctly in canon.
I will agree with that.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Fuck me.
Of course,
You can
I've seen a lot of fan fiction that get him wrong too.
Well,
So
yeah, but I've seen fan fiction seem to actually get him a believable personality more so than in canon.
yeah,
right,
there are some who try to keep him close to canon, which makes little to no sense because he didn't have a personality in canon except the annoying little brother trope,
right.
and he didn't even pull that off properly. Half the time
Oh,
he's this awesome, hey, we're gonna do this because I'm a genius and I'm sarcastic bastard, and then the other half the time he's a whiny little crybaby. There's no consistency.
right. Well, they keep to quote somebody else we interviewed a long time ago. I like the way he put it. Uh, they keep passing Spike the idiot ball when they go to write him.
Yeah,
So
if he's got any actual full part in a show in an episode, he's got the idiot ball. But if he's just background being snarky, he's all right.
right. I mean, he does play better as a straight man to Twilight's bullshit. All right, so let's move on to the next question before we all get angry at Spike more than we already are. If you could,
I've tried to fix him.
I don't think there's any fixing that thing. Um,
You can't
if
fix
you could
someone who
start
doesn't want to be fixed.
Mm.
that too. If you could start an interstellar war between any two factions from any universe or universes, who would they be and why?
Oh, do they have to be spacefaring for the
No,
interstellar
I'm
part?
talking any two groups from anything you can think of.
Mm. I mean, I can't throw a Warhammer 40K because they win every time. I mean, what are you going to do about lemmings with guns? We could always throw in the classic Star Wars versus Star Trek, and just to show how outmatched Star Wars really is.
I really don't think they would be.
I actually no. I think Star Wars would be really outclassed.
Well, Star Wars generally uses blaster and laser and little photon torpedo technology for most of their stuff because you got turbo lasers, you got all this. The next generation there was one next generation Star Trek episode where they were facing people with lasers, and they were just sitting there going, "Okay, they're recharging our shields for us." So I don't think they've that anyone in Star Wars has a chance.
Mm,
Maybe
I
the
want to
Death
refute
Star,
that
but
because
we got more.
I've seen a lot of the Clone Wars and so on, and
Yeah.
especially once you start getting into the expanded universe too. And remember, we have
Oh,
space wizards,
yeah.
so that helps a
Ground
lot.
combat. Yeah, if it's ground combat, Star Wars would be doing pretty well because they've got a lot more stuff for that. But then you've got the capital ships where they're
No,
cutting chunks.
I'm even thinking of the ships too.
Really.
Yes.
I did play a lot of Star Trek Online and saw their full range of stuff too. So
I
there's
think
more than just
this would be one of those conversations where you would have to line up every single ship with
yeah,
all their stats and abilities to actually determine this.
yeah. The main thing you can think of in regards to Star Trek, however, is all the ships that are usually kicking ass are just exploration vessels. They're not actually combat designed.
Yeah, I
So
think that's fucking weird too. uh, but anyways, I think we should move on to the disturbing questions, just for shits and giggles. If dick cheese could be blocked and sliced for sandwiches, how much vaginal marinara would we need to spread on our avocado toast to make a fuck trophy? A flesh consolation prize is acceptable too.
is that really a what the fuck question or just
It
huh?
is. That's the only answer.
No, no. Six.
6?
Six.
Alright. 6 dick cheese, got it.
6.
Alright. Give me a second, because I wrote this and it's gonna take me a minute. If
You
Richard
wrote
is dick,
this.
I know I wrote this and it's gonna tie my tongue up. If Richard is Dick and Robert is Bob, did Bob get rich and Dick got robbed, or did Rob rob Dick to get bobbed by Bob to get rich rich?
Are we talking about the guy who owns a little town and yells for pony, or
I have no idea. I came up with this on the fly.
there's so many questions here? I mean, is it Dick Van Dyke? Is it Robert Jordan? Uh, Bob? Who are these people?
That's what I want to know.
Who are you people?
Oh shit. All right. For your last question, you're trapped in a room with 10,000 dicks. How many are you choking on?
None. I just got to wait for Dick Grayson to be rescued by Batman.
Oh damn, you're that good?
That was smart. That was a really smart response. Says the guy who's on a big Batman kick recently. Oh man, that was smart. Speaking of Batman kick, let's go to the biggest Batman fan I know. A non-pencil has questions, and I would be remiss if I did not ask them myself. The lovely non-pencil asks, first and foremost, what would you whisper into a vagina?
Always with
The
the
tough
tough questions here.
It is
Yeah,
the true tough question.
Hi.
Hi, I like it. What would it whisper back is the follow-up.
How you doing?
Good. The next question is bees.
I thought I locked him up. Oh wait, that might have been a bit meta. Nobody's read the fic. Yes,
How many bees?
just the one. Trust me, that's enough.
One bee is enough.
Yeah, one bees is enough. He gets into a lot of stuff. I actually enjoy writing him.
Awesome.
One bees,
Just one.
just one.
What is the strongest animal you think you could beat in a fist fight?
Now, this is actually a fairly odd question on that. As it also kind of gets weird because it strongest, not biggest.
Yes.
Hmm. As I said before, I grew up in a house that did. So I've taken out raccoons, I've taken down possums, dogs, cats, seagull at one point. So I know I can take all them. I have taken down a deer, but that was a tough fight, even though it only had 3 legs.
I could see fighting a deer being tough.
But I'd say the one that actually had probably the most legendary status. I used to drive for Domino's, and a friend of mine, he had a pet turkey, and Domino's kept sending me to his house because no one else would get out of the car when the turkey was. So I'd say I can beat the turkey.
You could beat the turkey.
Yep. As he come up, I'd kick him out of the way. He'd get mad, and I'd deliver the pizza and move on. They couldn't even get the mail deliver out there because of that.
Jesus.
So the mailman had to lay on the horn out by the road and wait for them to come out and get it because he wouldn't get out of his truck.
Turkeys are the real villains. Turkeys will mess you up.
Yep.
I would not want to fight a turkey.
I had no problem. I had no problem with turkey, so I'd say the strongest animal probably a turkey. I've dealt with a goose before too, and those things are bad.
Geese are mean.
They are. I'll tell you what, though, if you can get their head trapped on the ground, they're fucking easy.
Yeah. Swan, on the other hand, has been known to break people's arms with their wings.
Yeah, so. No, I'd rather not fuck with a swan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that one. So, turkey, goose, not going up to swan.
What is the optimum number of ears for a face?
Standard Probably two, but I've seen some really cute cats that have grown an extra set of ears, and there's four of them, and they're just freaking adorable.
Solid answer.
So 2 to 4.
2 to 4. Probably not 3 though.
Might get a
Maybe
little
two.
weird, but even some
Two.
ugly animals still wind up being cute. That's why people like possums.
That's fair. You got to give it to the ugly animals. Now, the final post that we have is from Lily Kuzland. Flam, would you like to polish it off?
Sure, if my fucking computer decided to just not suddenly say, we're gonna dim the screen. Apparently, I was just dead in my seat for some reason. So, here we go.
It thought you were sleeping. It turned out the lights.
Lol, there you go. So, topping us off, Giggity, with Lily Kuzlin. Hello! One, do you listen to music when writing, and if so, what kind? That's a good question.
Yep. Uh, Various types. A lot of them. If I have I've done a lot of songs thrown into some of my fics. Probably more than really should be allowed with some of the lyrics I toss in. Stories in Stone, for example, one of my first big one. One of the main songs, Florence and the Machine's "Cosmic Love." And while I was writing chapters that involved that, that was just playing over and over again. And it got added onto a playlist as other songs came in. And I usually just wrote that whole thing on repeat. Uh,
Nice.
Twilight Gets a Puppy's kind of done the same thing. One of the chapters I did was heavily influenced by Toto's Rains in Africa. And I listened to that on repeat long enough to annoy the hell out of my roommate. So
Beautiful.
yep. Certain chapters have something, other chapters don't, and anything that I've added into the fic so far usually gets dumped into a playlist and keeps being listened to again. But sometimes I'll hear stuff on the radio or post on YouTube or somebody else, and I'm like, huh, that's pretty neat. And I'll just be listening to it, and it'll give me an idea. So all
Mm,
kinds of music. I've got like a eclectic taste in that anyway. Everything from Millionaire to Metallica to Nightwish, all the way to Johnny Cash, everything in between.
right. Yeah, for me, it kind of depends what I'm writing. Like, if I'm doing my Metroid crossover, I just put the soundtrack on, get
Yeah,
me in the mood.
I can
So,
understand
things
that.
like that. So, I don't think I though when I'm writing, I can't really listen to lyrics because I start writing the fucking lyrics accidentally because I'm a troglodyte and can't separate two things at once. So more power to you there.
Yeah,
So number two, do you have a favorite instrument?
I do on this one as well, and it probably, as the earlier question involving the ponies, probably got brought about by Octavia, going with the cello, because then you had the two cellos guys come up, Apocalyptica who do cellos or Metallica songs in cellos.
Mm,
So out of all that, I think that would probably be my favorite. It's got a nice calming tone.
awesome. Excellent. And let's see, beyond that, number three, if you were given the opportunity to have dinner with any one character, who would it be?
So long as I could bring a camera, it would be Twilight, just to see exactly how big of a mess she.
Just personally, how much of a mess she is?
Just yeah, just for the amusement saying, yeah, take a look at this. We'll put it on Pony Book. There you go.
What if she says no cameras, but she'll let you smash?
That'd be a little weird too. Hmm. And they make security. They make little cameras, lapel.
Good enough.
Besides, I really suck at brawl anyway. So
Ah, that's what you meant. Understood. Classic. It is my mind who is in the gutter.
mm,
Number four. If you were dropped into the MLP verse, would you rather keep your hands or would you change to fit in? And if you changed, what would you be?
I almost answered this one before too. Out of all the races and so forth of MLP, I like the Griffins. I mean, I
Okay.
liked Gilda despite her stuff. I liked all that. So if I couldn't change, or if I changed, I'd go with some kind of Griffin.
Okay. Okay. You just like that species better, or more drawn
Yeah,
to it, or okay.
I liked them even before MLP. There was okay. I don't think Mercedes Lackey actually. There was an old book series called I want to say the Black Griffin. It had like three or four parts, and I really liked how that book went, or how that book and how they wrote Griffins in it, and that just kind of stuck with me there.
Okay. Excellent, and it helps that they also have opposable thumbs at least here, so
Yes, kind of hard
even
to
better.
type with hooves.
No, agreed, agreed, agreed. So then, number five, do you think that the variety of species on the planet they live on would give them an advantage in a space race compared to a hairless ape-like race? Hooves, horns, magic versus hands, and other stuff.
Probably because they've got with so many different environmental niches there, it would be a drawback and an advantage because you could build a ship that would fit a certain race a little easier. But if you wanted to put more than one particular race in it, say you wanted to get something aquatic like a sea pony and then like a griffin or something like that, they wouldn't work very well because half the ship would have to be underwater and the other half in the air, probably with open area. So I mean, you could probably fit something like a changeling to adapt to anything, but
Hmm.
so with the magic and the abilities that could all be brought in, I'd say they'd probably have a better advantage than we would. Because I mean, they've already sent somebody on the moon without a rocket, so
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
just don't let a yak in the cockpit.
Yak space program, best space program. And all right then, and this isn't a question. You are offered a choice of pie or cake with a period. This isn't a question. I think this is a threat.
Carrot cake, always carrot cake.
All right. Well, there's the answer to the statement. Then it is a carrot cake. And quick refresh. There's nothing new. So back
Well,
to
with
you, priest.
with that being all the questions that we have for today, let's get just a little more in depth before we sign off and ask some more questions about your work in particular. So,
Okay.
what brought you to the idea to write um, Twilight Has a Puppy or Gets a
Okay.
Puppy? Excuse me.
I'll say now. There's evidently a thunderstorm going on over here, so if I drop out, that's what happened.
Okay.
Uh, honestly, what the only thing is, I was just sitting there finishing up the Stories in Stone series, and I just got a weird idea of like, okay, what if we like threw something in here? Because I had an idea before that of a changeling story where like a diamond dog or something got caught up in changeling and or as a changeling and converted into one and then took over the hive. But that was just pretty much a power wank. So I didn't do anything with that. But then thinking on it, I'm like, huh, I wonder what would happen if we just dropped something in here. So I wrote out the first chapter of that, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny. And then I posted it, and then everybody loved it. Shit, now I got another story to write.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So you did was this something that on first glance after writing a little bit did you feel like, "Oh, I'm going to pour thousands upon thousands of words into it," or is it something that just kind of over time as you put more into it, it developed more of a kind of soul and identity?
Well, like with Stories in Stone, stories. Let me back up with this one. Stories in Stone started from a web comic, just
Mhm.
a one short little panel thing called Garden Party, where Twilight or from second season where Discord says I don't turn ponies to stone, And Twilight thought about that and then went and cast a spell to see remove the stone on a statue in the garden at Canterlot. And I'm like, huh, I could go. Then I built off of that, and that was Stories in Stone was this massive. Some chapters are like 15, 20,000 words because it was one of my first things that I was writing, and that wound up being 5 books. And by the end of that, I switched to pup. I go into puppy, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with this now, and but I'm not gonna do that again. So I've been trying to keep them around 3,000 words per chapter, which sometimes has to get divided up. But I'm doing less writing than I did before.
Okay, no, that's fair. Do you, and obviously don't get into spoiler territory, do you have an ending planned? Rutro. We could be Thunderstorm. Have we succumbed to the thunderstorm? Is it just me?
Mm. Oh.
Well, if that's not a cliffhanger to end the cast on, I don't know what is.
Right?
So I
There
suppose
we
while
go.
oh, welcome back.
Yeah, the power went out, so I just like I expected. So I just switched to the phone.
Okay. Well then, I'll tell you what, we'll wrap it up then, so that way you can take care of what you need to. And
I should be fine now. It's just I had to switch that up. Unless there's no more questions, then I'm fine with it. So
oh, we have just one final question, two final questions for you.
okay.
The last question that I have is, do you have an ending planned? Obviously, don't spoil anything, but is there an end in sight?
There actually is. With Twilight Gets a Puppy, there's the ending was actually something I figured out probably about season when I was working on season 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with it is because of how I've got everything set up, I literally have to go all the way to season 9
Mm-hmm.
to get everything built up to that point. I mean, for a while there, I could have cut it off and finished the series at any point in time, just had the last season wrapped up. But now I'm pretty much in it for the long haul, and I'm going to go all the way to season 9. But
Well,
there is indeed an ending. So
that's fair, but also it's a very noble goal to be deep into a series like that for that long. It's no small feat. What the final question that we have is, what's going to be coming out after this? What's the next big project?
well, the current big or the current or the next big project is currently going on at the same time with the walk on space battles. Uh, as I said, I don't think I'm going to do another pony fic. I've got like 4 I need to finish up because I've still got Graveyard Shift, which was a spin-off that people thought was popular, but I haven't been in the mood to write that for a bit. There was Reign of Night, which was like the final book of the Stories in Stone series. And then I had a Ranma one half toss in with Not All Who Wander. So those I've still got to finish up, but I'm trying to move away a little bit and going into something else. But at some point in time, I do plan to rewrite the entirety of the Stories in Stone thing, but take out the pony aspect and actually see if I can get it published as a generic fantasy.
It's a very difficult goal, but a noble one. I know many a few that have done it and succeeded, and many a few that submitted it and said, "Hey, you got potential. Let's see what else you got." So it's definitely the first step to becoming a true professional published author.
As much as I'm writing, I'm kind of going that way anyhow.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, that is all the questions that we have. TDR, we can't thank you enough for taking time out of your day and out of your power to join us this evening.
Not a problem. Happy to have been here.
Awesome. We want to take a thank you to Burgess, who donated 100 bits this stream to Horse Rescue Charity. If you guys would like to support our endeavors as we try to look like a legitimate business and lose money, we donate 100% of our proceeds on Patreon to Horse Rescue Charity. Feel free to send it there, and we appreciate your guys' support so much. Without further ado, your bartenders this evening have been Flam and Warfer,
Yes.
Milk, Ravage,
Yes.
the illustrious TDR.
Ooh, big words.
Yes. And my name is Flutter Priest. We'll catch you next week. Bye bye.